everybody.
Good morning.
Kelly was having some issues with her audio, so I think she is going to try to log in with her other Zoom account. So in the meantime, here we are. Hello, good morning. Lynette has the most colorful, beautiful background.
Thanks. When the pandemic started, I was teaching 7th grade science and I had to go remote. So my husband made me an office/craft room. And here we are.
I love it. It's delightful. I moved into this place in June and I unpacked one box, which was this bookshelf. So I didn't just have like a blank, creepy room. And here we are.
That one worked.
Yay! Oh, that's perfect timing because my video, oh, it's okay.
Good morning, everybody. So really today is just a quick check-in. I know, I think Bruce wanted to share some news coming out of North Carolina and then, or just some resources, but I didn't plan any special presentation, but would love to know A, how you're all doing, and B, if you have any updates you want to share. You can drop them in the chat or raise your hand and unmute. But we're excited to see some of you in just a few weeks. So, oh, Casey froze again. We've had a heck of a time with our Zoom this week. It's been funny, but frustrating too. I guess our computers are ready to be in person. But Don, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Like I said, super excited. It's June, but I can't believe it's June.
Yeah. I can give a quick update if you want.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what's going on with you.
So we have a team of 4 going next week. The Shoshone-Bannock tribe in Idaho over at Fort Hall on the reservation is hosting an Indian Education Summit, and we'll be over there for 2 days doing presentations and working with them. So we're looking forward to that. We've been really building that relationship up, and we have a lot of collaborative projects going on. So it'll be exciting to go to their summit.
That's amazing. All right. What about you, Jeannie? Anything fun happen in your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm coming to Michigan, so I'm looking around thinking, how am I going to know everybody? But I'm looking forward to being there. So hopefully I will see all of you. And I'm not sure what Bruce is going to share, but Bruce and I have been talking back and forth, and we're working on some plans. So thank you, Rural STEM, for introducing us and getting some partnership possibility going. So anyway, I'm very excited about what we're talking about. So I don't know if that's what you're going to share. Maybe we're going to share something else, Bruce. But anyway.
Go
ahead, Bruce. Yeah, we can hear you.
Things I could share in terms of what I've gotten from this group. And yes, Jeannie and I have put together a great conversation around the work they're doing, which is awesome with, oh, Jeannie, help me. It's
agriculture, nourish the future. Yeah, I'm not sure what you want to say there.
Yeah, nourish the future suddenly just blew out of my head. So, but if you haven't visited the Nourish the Future site, just to go see the work they're doing in agriculture, and for most of us in rural America, agriculture is a big deal. Certainly it is in Eastern North Carolina. So we're really happy to be working with Jeannie in that particular program and looking kind of at a deeper relationship. And again, happened here. Thank you, Kelly, for keeping us going in this conversation. Speaking of which, also bringing Kelly and her work into North Carolina. And I won't tell you the whole story, but Kelly's nephew, just kidding, Kelly. Kelly had reached out because she had been contacted by a student in Wake County, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina, our largest school district. And he was working with he had asked about the Chief Science Officer program and was really interested in that. So we started up a discussion about that for North Carolina, whether we can do it in Wake County as a pilot, spreading out to the east and west. Anyway, that started its whole conversation. So thank you very much. So that's the second thing to share. And then the third thing, and I had asked Kelly about this really quickly, a week or so ago. our organization has a long relationship with the Smithsonian Science Education Center. And if you've worked with them at all before, great organization. You may know them, I think, originally through the research they did behind some of the science kits that you can get from Carolina Biological. But we've gotten much more excited about the other work that they do in terms of strategic planning, STEM planning for a school district, schools themselves, working in a variety of venues. Anyway, in a workshop I was doing for them and with them a couple of weeks ago, I talked specifically to their the person, the director of teacher education in their group. And we brought up, because of the, and I'm gonna put a couple of links in the chat if I can get them up there appropriately. Hang on just a minute. And this is what kind of grabbed my attention, was the Smithsonian, of course, with the Smithsonian proper, with their vast amount of resources. They have really turned the corner on really wanting to make sure that they're engaging with education across the country, and providing not just resources in terms of here they are, but giving some credibility to space to actually begin to utilize those resources, which is really potentially really important for us in rural America. And again, I'm sure it's very similar in your area, but when we're talking to a school district that has 87 students and that's it, in their elementary school, it's nice that they're able to reach out and find things. And so the Smithsonian announced their digital first strategy, which was, it was kind of ho-hum when I first came across it. And then I really started looking at what they were really proposing, and I immediately reached out to, in the conversation with the Smithsonian folks I was working with that day, and said, hey, we want to be first along with you in terms of rural areas of the country. So anyway, made that pitch to her, wanted to see who we could get in contact with. They're working within the Smithsonian to find someone who maybe can come and talk with us a little bit more. In the meantime, there are indeed other resources that they already have available. I don't know if you've ever taken advantage of the Smithsonian Learning Lab. We worked with our teachers a couple of summers ago, really looking at how to use these resources in their instructional planning. And these are often they're primary source resources that teachers can use and refer to in a number of ways. And I'll put the link there also if it's something that you want to explore. Nonetheless, that was the beginning of the conversation with the folks at Smithsonian Science Education Center, who will help us kind of wander through this conversation with the Smithsonian proper to see how we can kind of leverage up our community of rural educators who I think we would agree are probably most in need of these types of resources, certainly more than our larger cities and school districts that kind of have access to this by hopping on a bus and going 20 minutes down the road. Not so much for us. So Kelly, I think those were the three things I was quickly going to share. And so there you go. I quickly shared them, and I'm happy to keep up the conversation with the Smithsonian. Hopefully we can get them with us on a call soon.
Yeah, I think that'd be really exciting to have them join us and kind of share a little bit more in depth. But as you can see, the link is pretty detailed of, excellent resources. So just a great way to share out to your networks. I'm sure you have like newsletters going out, but putting a little blurb in there and letting them explore. But if we are able to get them on a call to kind of talk through it, we would love to open it up so you can invite additional individuals to attend. Again, those resources, sometimes they're not necessarily known or even understood that they're free or accessible. So the more we share, the better for everyone. So Lynette, I can see you. I don't know if anybody else wants to share too, but hi, Lynette.
Good morning. No, I don't have anything to share.
I love are you in a classroom or that? I love your backdrop.
It's my office at home.
Oh, I love the colors. It looks so organized.
Thank you. No, I'm fairly new to the project. I think this is only my second call. I'm new to Explora as well. So I'm still learning what we're doing and figuring things out. So no, I'm not ready to share this week. I apologize.
No, no need to share. We're just welcoming you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I will add one more thing. After my conversation with Jeannie, several months ago, we set up an ag working group at the STEM Action Center, been working with some of our legislators, along with some industry, and we're looking to roll out a number of programs. So yeah, that was a great conversation that got started, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe,
Yeah.
Jeannie, I don't remember, but
Yeah, I was trying to look because I remember when we talked, but it has been a while. But this group has been valuable in making connections, and really enjoyed my conversation with John too. And so always, the Nourish the Future project is a national project. So John, if you have teachers that you want from Idaho to be trained, and then we'll send them back to you, and with some resources and with the ability to do things in your own state, just all I do is get them to sign up. And, if you let me know, I'll try to watch for Idaho people. I have a little bit of influence on the process. So, and actually, Bruce sent us 2 fabulous teachers this past year, and they were amazing. And now, we have 2 teachers that have been trained in agriculture and are ready to do some things in their state, having spent a year with us. So love to do that for you too, John. If you check out that website, you'll see where a teacher can apply. Doesn't cost them anything. So we would love to have a couple Idaho people and keep the conversation going.
great. Thanks, Jeannie.
Sure.
Well, super exciting. I've already shared the links as well to make sure our educational outreach shares them. Any other updates going on around the group? I know I don't see you, but I see that you're on. I just don't want to call you out if I cannot see your pretty face, but pretty excited that we've stayed together. I think getting to meet in person will be very exciting, and we'll find out who's tall and who's short. But I think having a meetup at the ecosystem, I know there's a couple of sessions. Cal was working on one, I think, with the NASA and rural. So I believe there's one focused on that. And then there's also the West Coast. We're called the Wild West, I guess. We also have a presentation. So if you haven't looked through the opportunities at the convening, definitely check it out. And of course, we'll also have chief science officers there. So in plethora this year, instead of the 4, we'll have quite a few. So hi, Rachel. How are you doing?
Good morning, everyone. I am Rachel Science Action Club. I am based in not a rural area, and admittedly, I'm still waking up a little bit because we had an earthquake last night that woke me up and stayed up a little bit. It's funny how those things just jerk you out of your sleep immediately. But with Science Action Club, we work across obviously rural communities, which is why I'm here as well. And the kind of interesting thought exercise that we've been doing recently is we're developing a new unit around coral reefs and climate change. And we are trying to explore creatively how to make that relevant across a lot of different communities so that we can share with all of that. I'm trying to think of any other tidbits that I can share from that process that might be interesting here, but that's one of the projects that I've had on my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, right? Students that have never been even to the ocean, understanding what's underneath. It's a hard thing for a 6th grader, or even a 3rd grader to imagine how big the ocean is if they've never stood there and watched and listened to the waves. So the nice part about what the Smithsonian is doing is that deeper dive and that peek inside without actually having to travel there. So if it's possible to create, I know there's plenty on Discovery Ed and, National Geographic, but I think it would be important to put a personal touch on it too, of if you're providing those resources and able to showcase what the actual, where you are, right, where different parts of the coast, different parts of the ocean look like, would be really, really interesting for students to kind of connect, even with the human. Like watching it on Discovery is a little different than actually knowing, oh, there's Rachel again, she's going to talk to us. So just a thought.
Yeah. We've been thinking a lot about that too, because you want to provide them that immersive experience of being near oceans, but the real theme behind it is how do your actions in your local communities and the actions that we take with connect to this global global community as well. So it's been a very interesting thought exercise, to say the least. But it's nice to see everyone, and good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who just dropped in the chat. Definitely put your name only because you're, oh, good, there you are. Yeah, drop your email so she can get connected. Hi, Anna. What a great, I'm excited you guys all turned your cameras on so we can say hi.
Hello, everybody. Rena and I are here from the Society for Science and work pretty closely with Cal, with Arizona Rural School teachers as kind of a small caveat with the rest of the programming that we do. So the Society for Science runs both national programs for teachers and then national and international competitions, STEM science competitions for students. So we have a couple opportunities right now that are open, and unfortunately we won't be able to join you all at the Ecosystems Conference, but I think Cal's going to be chatting about some of our resources and programs there. So he encouraged us to hop on today. The open opportunities right now are, Raina and I run the Science News in High Schools program, and it is all about getting our science news journalism that's been around for 100 years incorporated into curricula and free for teachers. And so we're working on our open enrollment period right now, hoping to have about 5,500 schools across the country signing up this year. And we always love to focus on getting these resources to rural communities as well. So if anybody is interested in sharing that information, we can drop the link in the chat. The other two opportunities that are relevant that are coming up and open right now for sign up for teachers are our middle school Research Teachers Conference, which will be held in late July, and then the High School Research Teachers Conference, which will be held in very early October. And those are lottery-based conferences, all expenses paid trips for teachers to Washington, D.C. for a weekend. And they are essentially run by teachers. So we allow teachers to host sessions talking about either in class experimental design and research or outside of class research courses. And so it's just a fun weekend that we host for about 100 for the middle school and 200 teachers as well. So if it's something that anybody is interested in grabbing a professional development opportunity that's based around experimental design, please share.
Definitely will share those as well. Amazing how many teachers have not been to DC too. So great opportunities. And I like that they're equitable, right? Free. Sue, would you like to say hello?
Hi. So I since I last spoke with you, I retired from the university.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's retirement is really kind of sucks, I gotta say. But this allows me to do more stuff the way I want to do it. So I'm continuing more with the rural stuff. One thing that's happened in our part of the state is we're like one of the smallest counties in North Carolina, but we're compared to all the other counties in our service area, we're like a mecca. But they sold the medical center and it was billions of dollars, and they set aside a huge chunk of it for outreach. So I know there's a lot of mechanizations going on to see how we can possibly access that money in a way that allows us to benefit our rural community, but through the county, because the money was given to the county. Of course, that hospital served, like an 11 county region. So that's kind of an exciting opportunity. I know the people in our STEM scenic ecosystem are working with the university on some ideas. And again, in our area, we have the Gullah Geechee community. We have the Lumbee Native American tribe, and we have a Hispanic population that kind of lives in the shadows because they're part of the migrant group that come in and out. So we're hoping that there'll be some possibilities to access that money, which is set aside for a well-to-do county, but still be able to benefit our kind of historically tobacco counties. So that's kind of exciting. The grant I had worked on for so many years, my big joke is 2 hurricanes and a pandemic walked into a bar. But that really, that took our 2-year grant and made it 5 years, and we worked the whole time. We just wrapped that up, and one of the best things out of that grant was the teachers became so empowered. So one of the things we're doing right now is I'm working with 3 of the teachers who really just got, they're real teachers who know how to by their bootstrap. They know how to get things done with no resources and no support. And they really have become leaders. And so they're looking at ways to kind of push back on the powers that be and get them to understand you don't come in and tell us what's wrong with us. You don't come in and tell us how you're going to fix us or support us. They want to change the conversation so that the people in the prominent counties understand what the rural county people bring to the table. So that's just happening organically with these 3 teachers in particular. So we're trying to figure out how we can support them to maybe start a network, a PD initiative. I'm not sure what that's going to grow into, but I'm really excited. I'm kind of sitting like in a support role on the sidelines because the most exciting thing about it is they're taking ownership. And I think it's that ownership that's going to make it successful. So that's happening. And then the last thing is I've been working with some people on preschool STEM, which has always been a core interesting thing for me. And so hopefully, maybe at our next meeting, we'll have something to announce about that with our region of what we're doing rurally, which could be recreated anywhere. It's just kind of fun stuff. That's what we're doing.
I love it. What a powerful and inspiring story, right? To see the teachers really owning their space and knowing, hey, I'm doing a great job. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And we didn't know what it was. You could sense something was happening, but because I was part of the group that's going to come in and fix it and make it better, you don't really have your ears and your eyes open and receptive to what is actually happening. And now that it's becoming clearer, I think it's so exciting. So
that's awesome. Congratulations again on retirement and working even harder, probably.
Yeah. More fun though.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, we usually try to keep it to about a half an hour, but if there's anybody else that has an update, I think the resources shared today were incredible. I absolutely adore this rural group and the enthusiasm. So appreciate you for connecting. Like I said, I'll see some of you in Michigan, so that'll be very fun. You'll see Casey too. Her camera's been acting a little strange on Zoom lately, but all right. Well, thanks for connecting, and drop your emails in the chat if you want anybody to specifically get connected. We have probably about 200 people on the distro list for this. And we've had a few that have reached out and say, okay, you contacted me enough. I don't know why I'm on this list. So I think I'm going to clean it up and really make sure those that want to be part of this research sharing are on there. But I'll share out these links today and let everybody know that we're excited to see them in Michigan and or online next month. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day and an enjoyable weekend this weekend.